Summary of Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. The first week of August is the highest point of the year's cycle, according to the narrator, and it is at this time that people tend to take part in activities that they would later come to regret. According to the narrator, the world is like a big wheel, with the Foster family's small wood serving as the hub linking all the spokes together. Outside of this hub, the Tuck family, 10-year-old Winnie Foster, and the man in the yellow suit are linked by the wood. People tend to stay away from the woods because they feel uncomfortable there. The narrator is sure that this is smart because if someone went into the woods, they would find a big ash tree with a spring coming from its roots. It would be awful to find this stream. May Tuck wakes up on the first day of the first week of August, eager to go meet her boys in Tie Gap. Her husband Angus isn't happy about it, but he tells May that he'll be okay while she's gone and that nothing bad will happen to him. May doesn't care about this, and the narrator tells her that Angus, May, their boys Jesse and Miles, and they can't die because they are all eternal. Winnie sits inside her family's fence at noon and tells a toad on the other side that she wants to run away to be free and do something important. He asks Winnie if she knows everyone in Tree Gap when he shows up at the Foster's gate at sunset. Winnie is not sure about the man, but she talks to him and tells him to talk to her dad. Even though they can all hear sparkling music that makes Granny pause with excitement, Winnie's grandmother saves her from the talk. Inviting Winnie inside, she says that this is the music she sometimes hears elves playing. The man in the yellow suit whistles the elf music tune as he goes away. The next morning, Winnie decides she doesn't want to run away because she's too scared to be alone, but she does want to explore the woods where she lives with her family. It's surprisingly nice in the woods, especially when she meets a good-looking young guy named Jesse Tuck. Right away, Winnie falls in love with Jesse and asks him if the water she saw him drinking is safe for her to drink, because she's thirsty. He doesn't want her to drink the water when May and Miles come over. They quickly pick up Winnie, put her on their horse, and ride off. Asking Winnie not to scream or be scared as they go, they walk by the man in the yellow suit on the other side of the woods. When they finally get to a stream on the other side of a field, they show Winnie May their music box and tell her a wonderful story. Winnie learns that the music box is where the elf music comes from. That stream in the woods is where they drank 87 years ago, and they haven't aged at all since then. After 20 years of marriage, Miles' wife left him with their children because she thought he had sold his life to the devil. The Tucks finally found out that the water was what made them live forever. Even though Winnie isn't sure, it's clear that the Tucks are glad they told someone. Miles tells Jesse that he should take things more seriously because being forever is awesome. Winnie agrees to help them keep their secret, but May tells her that they have to take her home with them so she can understand. The next day, they'll bring her back. Winnie agrees, and now she thinks anything is possible. The Tucks and she don't notice that the man in the yellow suit was also listening to the story. The world seems big and nice. To get to the Tucks farm takes hours. Although Angus smiles at Winnie, Jesse and Miles jump right into the pond. Winnie is surprised by how messy the Tucks house is. It's dirty and not organized at all, but it feels like home and comfortable. May tells us that Jesse and Miles work when they can and spend their free time away. She also says that Jesse can't settle down because he is eternally young. Winnie finds it sad that she says she and Angus need to move soon so people don't start to think bad things about them. No matter how long life is, May says it should be lived. Later, Winnie and the Tucks have dinner. It shocks Winnie to see people eating in the room without napkins, and she soon starts to feel that eating with her kidnappers is a private, personal thing that she shouldn't be doing. In response, Angus offers to talk with Winnie while they're out on the pond. The man in the yellow suit saw the Tucks taking Winnie away, which makes Winnie feel good because she thinks the man will tell her dad and help her get home. Winnie takes the risk of getting in the boat with Angus. He tells her softly that things are growing and changing all around them in the pond. At some point, the water in the pond will hit the ocean and then come back to the pond as rain. He lets the boat get stuck in some roots on the other side of the pond and compares the Tucks to the boat. They're stuck and can't grow and change anymore. When Winnie finds out she's going to die, she is shocked and angry all at once. Angus says this is a normal reaction, but Winnie needs to die someday because not dying is like not living at all. A person would never know what they're giving up if they drank water from the spring, according to him. Miles jumps in and yells that the horse was stolen. A while later, the man in the yellow suit shows up at Winnie's parents' house on the Tuck's horse. He tells Winnie's father that he knows where Winnie is and gets him to agree to give him the wood in exchange for safe delivery of Winnie. After waking up the police officer, the man in the yellow suit rides ahead as the two of them head for the Tuck's farm. Maggie turns Winnie's sofa into a bed, but Winnie doesn't like sleeping in someone else's house without her dress or bedtime routine. As Winnie begins to fall asleep, May sneaks out of the bedroom to say sorry and wants Winnie to be theirs. After a while, Angus checks on Winnie and offers to stay with her until she sleeps. He gives her a kiss on the face and then goes back to bed. Winnie feels cared for by this, and she doesn't think they're really bad guys. He finally sneaks up on Winnie and tells her that she can travel the world with him if she drinks the water when she turns 17. At dawn, Winnie gets up. She says yes, and Miles gets up to ask her to go fishing with him. "I love the Tucks," Winnie thinks as they get into the boat. In his story, Miles says that his daughter Anna was a lot like Winnie. Even though he thought about it, he says it wouldn't have made sense for his kids and wife to drink the water. While Winnie says it would be nice if things never died, Miles says that if nothing died, there would be no room for new life. Miles takes over fishing while Winnie agrees with Miles. Miles wants to make a name for himself in the world by doing something important, but he doesn't know what. He just caught a fish and brought it into the boat. The little girl asks Miles to put it back because she wants to cry. Still, he tells her that people have to eat meat and kill things sometimes to stay alive. Winnie can't wait to get home after breakfast, but she also knows that the Tucks are her real friends. While she looks at Miles, Jessie, and then Angus, who looks sad, she thinks about the idea of drinking from the stream. It's the man in the yellow suit who answers the door when they hear it knock. He says his grandma told him a story about a family that never gets old. He then used the tune from the music box to find the Tucks. He wants to bottle the water from the stream and sell it to people who deserve it. He needs the Tucks' help advertising the water. When they say no, the man grabs Winnie and says he'll make her drink so he can use her instead. The man is then hit by May with the butt of her gun, which knocks him out right away. The police officer sees this when he gets there. Winnie tells him that the Tucks didn't kidnap her, which shocks him. He demands that he needs to take Winnie home and jail May. May will be hanged to death if the man dies. Angus should not worry, Winnie tells him as the police officer rides off with her. She is sure that May will not die, even if she is hanged. Wynne sits in a small moving chair at home that night and thinks about what happened. After thinking about her time with the Tucks, she decides that those times are now, happily, her own. It makes her wonder if the Tucks story is true. If it is, she believes the man in the yellow suit should die. Winnie hears the police officer say that the guy has died as he knocks on the door. Winnie thinks back to how bad she felt when she killed a wasp, and she wants to know if May still feels bad about killing the man. That she will do something to save May from being hanged. Later that day, Winnie goes outside after breakfast. When she sees the toad, she asks Granny to help her give it water, but the toad is gone by the time Winnie gets a bowl. Jessie shows up a little while later and says that they're going to get May out of jail later. The Tucks need more time, so Winnie offers to help by taking May's place in the cell. Also, she takes Jessie's bottle of spring water and tells him she should drink it when she turns 17. The rest of the day, Winnie waits for midnight. She doesn't think her parents will ever trust her again, so she's surprised when they don't wake up to stop her. A rainstorm starts as Jessie takes Winnie to the jail. As a thunderclap sounds, Miles pulls out the window's nails and the metal window frame comes right out. When May crawls out, the Tucks give Winnie hugs and kisses, then they lift her back inside and fix the window. In the morning, Winnie tells the police officer who she is. Her folks keep her in the yard forever even though she's too young to be charged. The Tucks are Winnie's friends and she did it because she loves them, which is okay with her family. Winnie is lucky that the fact that she breaks the rules makes her more interesting to the other kids in town. A big dog is bothering the toad, which Winnie sees. She grabs the toad, brings it inside the fence, and then goes to Jessie to get the water. She gives it to the toad and thinks that she can go drink from the stream if she wants to meet Jessie later. Angus and May ride into Tree Gap many years later. There is sidewalk and a few shops in the town, but Winnie's house is no longer there. Additionally, they are unable to locate the wood. The wood was hit by lightning a few years ago, burned down, and was then bulldozed, according to a man at a diner. After finding Winnie's grave, Angus goes to the cemetery while May shops. The man can see that she's been gone for 2 years and was married and a mother. He sobs and bows his head in her honor. While Angus and May are leaving town, he stops the car from hitting a toad.
About the author. Natalie Moore was born on July 28, 1932, in Dayton, Ohio. She finished from the private high school Laurel School for Girls and then went to Smith College. In the late 1950s, she married Samuel Babbitt and had 3 children alongside him. She and her husband worked on their first picture book together in 1966. He wrote it and she illustrated. But after that, Samuel Babbitt didn't want to write any more books, so Natalie Babbitt started publishing her own. Neenoch Rise, her 4th children's book, won the 1971 Newbery Honor. Before that, she had written a few picture books and 5 adult books. Since it came out in 1975, Tuck Everlasting has been a favorite among both kids and teachers. It was named an ALA Notable Book and won the Christopher Award. In the 21st century, it has been included in lists of the 100 best books for kids by the School Library Journal and the National Education Association. She died in 2016.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.